We're gonna be casing a window that we just installed, and so I'm gonna walk through the process and all the little calculations you do or measurements to get this thing to work, and we'll get started. So basically, the very first thing to do is figure out how much reveal you want around the trim of your window. Reveal is basically the amount of gap that you're gonna have. So when you put in your board like this, that distance from there to there is your reveal. And so to make your window look good, you basically want to make sure you've got a consistent amount. So typically people do like 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. And so you just come in here with like a square, and you can do this really quickly and mark it. And I do recommend doing like 3 different marks along each side of the window. So there's 12 in total. And so once you know where this reveal is, you can especially see it step back on this window, but you can see how this is slanting this way. So if you were to just do the same size spacers, you're gonna get casing that's going not in line with the window. It's gonna look bad. So basically, the next thing to do is once you've wrote down like that consistent spacing that you're gonna have, or whatever it's called, you're gonna come in here and measure basically the distance from here to the stud around your window, and you're gonna do this around all the sides. So in my case, I went around and did this, and because these are really small measurements, I converted to metric. So basically I went around and I just measured the distance from there to there, and that was 37 mil. From here to here was 32 mil. From here to there was 31 mil. And so on. So I just drew a little picture like this, and I measured the thickness of the board, which in this case for me it was 18. And so with all that information, you can now come in, and I just subtracted 37 by 18 to get 19, 32 by 18 to get 14, and so on. And so basically what I have now are a bunch of little spacers that I'm gonna come in with. And so like right here, I'm gonna have this guy right here, which is at 19. And then when I put in my board like this, it's gonna, in theory, come pretty close to that gap that I want to have right there. And we're just gonna do this for the other ones leading up to that. This is all just 2x4. Might even be better if you have a little bit smaller board, but that's how I'm doing it. So next step is I'm going to come in with the nail gun, and we're just gonna tack these into place. I'm gonna go with 16 gauge, 2-inch brad nails, there, all the way around this thing. And then once we've got that the way we like it, then we're going to do the fun part, which is actually come in, cut our trim, and have it run hopefully with a consistent exposure the entire way. So stay tuned. All right, and this is how it looks after I tacked in all of the spacers for the reveal. And now what I'm doing is I've measured out the trim. I bought this. This is a 3.5 by 1 inch pre-painted trim from Home Depot, buying like an 8-foot stick each. And so what you're trying to do next is after you've cut it to length, you are also going to need to cut it to width. And when you're cutting it to width, basically the goal here is to make sure that like when you have that final trim piece on the outside like this, it's going to be flush with it, or maybe a little bit off, but you get the idea. So pretty happy with this one. Again, really just kind of using the a caliper or whatever you have to figure out what this width needs to be. And they might be different for the 3 sides. It really just depends on how you're looking. But anyway, I'm gonna keep on chugging with this, and then we tack these things in to the spacers that we put in, and we've got that nice consistent reveal all the way down and all the way up, and then we're gonna have the same one all the way across. So that's what we're gonna keep on doing. All right, so we got all these tacked in around all 4 sides. Obviously I'm gonna have to caulk this, but now the next thing here is to measure for the outer trim piece or casing. how big I'm gonna need. And so I've written down those numbers, but basically it's just the distance from here to where I want there to be a reveal on this trim, which will be like right to here on both sides. And so I'm gonna go cut those pieces of wood, and then we'll be almost done with this guy. All right, guys, and this is the finished product. I ended up cutting down some of these things just they were so wide, coming all the way up to here. And I just did a pretty basic finish, I think, but you know, still a little sill here, and I'm gonna have to do a lot of caulking, but yeah, that's how she looks.